Welcome to the White Wall Sessions Radio. I'm your host, Dan Schaefer. On this week's episode, we feature MeShell Wolf, Marah in the Mainsail, and Gordo Jibang. If you'd like to know more about the artists on the show, visit thewhitewallsessions.com for features, links, and videos. MeShell Wolf is a singer-songwriter based out of Chamberlain, South Dakota. Her music blends the pop and folk genres. MeShell is constantly recording, touring, and performing her music.
Another beautiful thing that can cause pain, or even the sun. You only want what I can't give you, and you only need what I don't have. Well, you only want what I can't give you. So why are you still holding my hand? Stalemate, heartbreak. I spent too much time in the wrong place. Nosebleed, be free. I know you need more than me. You've been feeling kinda rough around the edges, waiting for the next best thing to pass you by. Well, who the hell are you to keep me guessing? Or who the hell am I? 'Cause you only want what I can't give you, and you only need what I don't have. I'm feeling kinda worn around the edges, oh, I don't think you understand. Love me harder, oh, well, that's what I said. But you can read my mind, maybe that's why you get so bored with it. Your palate's changing lately. You don't like the taste of me, well, spit me out and try to forget. 'Cause you only want what I can't give you, and you only need what I don't have. I'm feeling kinda worn around the edges, oh, I don't think you understand. I breathe out, I feel the cold run through my veins. I need you now, but it can't be that way. 'Cause you only want what I can't give you, and you only need what I don't have. I'm feeling kinda worn around the edges, oh, I don't think you understand. 'Cause you only want what I can't give you, and you only need what I don't have. I'm feeling kinda worn around the edges, oh, I don't think you understand. So why are you still holding my hand? 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 Thank you. Let the wind blow you through the night. If You don't listen, you can't feel the fright. Another day will come tomorrow. Where will you be? On top of a mountain near the birds sing. All the people and their little things are a delicacy for me. Yeah. But smiles on the language. The kindness is contagious. Open doors can really open your eyes round here. Where every day is sacred. You wouldn't want to waste this. Open doors can really open your eyes round here. Yeah, yeah. Kiss the rain. Another beautiful thing that can cause pain. Or even the sun needs a break from the average day. I'll take for granted all the little things. A cold shower is all it takes to realize why your heart longs for this place. With smiles on the language. The kindness is contagious. Open doors can really open your eyes round here. Where every day is sacred. You wouldn't want to waste this. Open doors can really open your eyes round here. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, ooh. Smiles on the language. The kindness is contagious. Open doors can really open your eyes around here. Where every day is sacred. No, you wouldn't want to waste this. No, no. Open doors can really open your eyes around here. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. Thank you.
What about your recording? Have you done some studio recording?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say studio, but I've recorded an album in a home studio, and I have a good friend in Italy who mixed and mastered everything. And so we put out a CD in January called Wake Up,
And how many songs are on that?
12.
Oh, so it's a full album then.
Yes.
Oh, great. And you're working on another one, right?
Oh, I'm getting there, yeah. Slowly.
So did you track them at home then, or did you go into a...
Yeah, I just, did the CD baby route thing, but I recorded everything at home and did my vocal track and my guitar tracks and my harmonies, and I, thank you, Internet, just sent them over to my friend, and he added the rest.
So you knew him before, or did you know him through music?
I actually met him online through music. There's different collaboration websites out there, and just happened to start adding stuff to my songs, and it worked. So,
So do you ever send him songs and then he brings back something that you didn't really expect?
oh yeah, definitely. A lot of the times, it's cool. I think that's the one thing I miss the most. I just don't get to collaborate very much when I'm by myself. So I definitely feed off the energy that I can get from other people.
Have you ever gotten back something from someone that you're collaborating with that didn't quite work and you need to
Yeah.
gently
Yeah.
rework that?
Most definitely. But that's it's never a problem. At least now with Marco, the guy that I work with, he's always very open and he likes to experiment. And so he expects me to come back with how I feel and be honest. But yeah, usually we get it to where it's pretty good.
Yeah. Have you ever co-written a song?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about that.
Well, when I was in that girl band, Madame Dulcet, I wrote a couple songs with them. I enjoyed it.
You do?
I enjoy working with other people a lot. So
yeah, because that can be kind of complicated when you're, it can be great, but then if it's not working, you have to figure a way to get around it and say, well, I didn't like that bit, or they may have to say that to you. Did that happen in that band?
Not so much. I was basically the main writer, but I'm very open to everybody's ideas and stuff. So it's more exciting to see where it can go when people start adding their opinions and doing that. So
how many bands have you played in?
One shouldn't count, but 2, and then by myself.
Okay. And what influenced you when you were growing up to even write songs, or what drove you to music?
I just always remember loving it. I would always just walk around the yard when I was little and sing to myself. I really loved the 90s music. I mean, that was when I was learning how it worked. So,
yeah. Like what kind of bands in the 90s? I mean, sort of Gin Blossom's Jangle stuff? Or?
Yeah. I loved all that. I don't know. I have a lot of influences. It's hard to narrow down musicians, and I loved Matchbox 20 and Alanis Morissette, and I can get out of the 90s, but yeah, I always loved Fall Out Boy, and those melodies that I really enjoyed were my main kind of energy there, was getting into those melodies.
Yeah, I can tell, because there was a lot of, that era produced a lot of melodic stuff. I mean, the instruments and the singing and all that was just really great music, and it still is, you know. So, and I can hear a lot of that in your music.
Thank you.
And I can see the light inside of your eyes. Millions of people in the street, only a few I get to meet, and I hold them close, dear to me. And over time we all will change, different ideas, different claims to who we are. And there will be some trouble, and there will be some fear. There's always a rock or two on the road, but I won't let you stumble, and I will break your fall. And I know you do the same, 'cause I can see the light inside of your eyes. And you're only as strong as the one on your side, so don't leave my side. With the sobering state of the news, people fighting, people choosing to hurt everything. We're gonna run out of fresh water, and we're gonna bomb this place. Mother Earth, she didn't stand a chance, but we could make things different. Oh, we could make things change. There's more out there like us, 'cause you won't let me stumble, and you will break my fall. And you know I do the same, 'cause I can see the light inside of your eyes. And you're only
Marah and the Mainsail kicked off Season 5 of the White Wall Sessions with an energetic performance. The six-piece theatrical alt-folk band from Minneapolis, Minnesota is led by lead singer and guitarist Austin Dury. Accompanying Austin were Mariah Mercedes, keys and vocals, Austin Tang, bass, Austin Wilder, percussion, Dane Hopp, drums, and John Baumgartner on trombone.
Forest fire burning in the west. If I stare at it too long, I swear it burns just like the sunset. And that smoke grows black as gold, swallows up stars I know. Sifting shadows, snakes, ghosts of my own mistakes slithered through the sky, just like the memories through my mind I haven't made. Which side I'm on? Dies gas, the trap is laid, the torch is passed, the fire's made, the flame is like the devil's king flags on. Subtle strike sails your fate, fills your lungs with shadow snakes. No one survives the bite of the black mamba. Black mamba. Black mamba. Forest fire burning in the east. I listen close too long, I swear that I still hear their screams. And that smoke grows black as gold, swallows up the stars I know. Shifting shadows, snakes, the ghosts of my own mistakes. When I was young and dumb, they told me you are what you'll become. But now I'm not the creature I was. Dies gas, the trap is laid, the torch is passed, fires are made, the flame whips like the devil's feet flags on. The subtle strike sails your fate, fills your lungs with shadow snakes. No one survives the bite of the black mamba. Black mamba. Forest fire burning in the north. If I dwell on it too long, I fear I'll find out what it's worth. We wear rats, coats, white as snow, swallows up the land I know. Sifted shadow snakes, the ghosts of my own mistakes. All my friends are dead, they burned up in the flames, they fled, but I got safe away from what I started. Dies gas, the trap is laid, the torch is passed, the fire's made, the flame whips like blood levels in black soul. The shadow dark sails your fate, fills your lungs with shadow snakes. No one survives.
I don't wanna hurt you, but I will if I must. Don't you make a sudden move, don't you try to run. And if I hear you scream, I'll be the last thing you see when I send you to the great beyond.
Don't you make a sudden move, don't you try to run. And if I hear you scream, I'll be the last thing you see when I send you to the great beyond. When we were young and our faces were thin and our bones would show through the cracks in our skin, and our fingers went numb from the lashings we knew, and our sweat turned the dirt into mud, but our conscience stayed clean, 'cause it wasn't our sin when we sent them to the great beyond. I don't wanna hurt you, but I will if I might. Don't you make a sudden move, don't you try to run. If I hear you scream, I'll be the last thing you see when I send you to the great beyond. I knew a bear, a large and grisly bear, with the sharpest of teeth and the largest of guys was not a friendly bear. His animal friends got up and said, "Your kind ain't welcome round here." Let out a roar and tore up their heads. With a sniff and a snarl, he said, "It's gonna burn down all that you love. Eat at your bone crown, the empire you built up. So what?" Once I knew when now, wise but pompous sow, said he could see the future to be. In every sinner he scowled. He'd sing and he'd call and he'd flap his tiny wings, hoping to change their way. He'd sing and he'd scream about those lesser than he, but he never could foresee that it's gonna burn down all that you love. Need at your bone crown, the empire you built up so now why so poor? Now why? Once I knew Fox, a cunning and sinister fox. He was quick and clever and always deceiving all of his woodland kin. He crafted his own crown made of bone, wore it atop of his ivory throne with his scepter and sword and merciless boars. He ruled the dark woods that he used to call home. Each day his eyes grew a little bit wider, and each night his mind grew a little more meek. Then he slammed down his fist and yelled, "No more survivors! Nobody rules the dark forest but me! Burn the wood! Burn them slow! Burn the trees down! Burn the bones! Burn the woods! Burn them slow! Burn the trees down! Burn the bones! Burn the woods! Burn them slow! Burn the trees! Burn the bones! Burn the woods! Burn them slow! Burn the trees! Burn the bones! Burn the earth!
Gordo Jibang is a two-piece electronic pop band from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Gordo Jibang consists of Elsa Ray and David Haug. They were accompanied by an electronic drummer affectionately named Kevin.
Is it ever gonna end? I'm sick Jekyll grinning. You look something like a dog. Got me howling every night. You were never wrong. I was never right. I don't care what you say. I look something like black and white. I'm ruby and red. I don't care what it said. You were going to start. Now to the edge of the water, baby. I'm gonna leave you alone. Now I'm gonna leave you alone. This time I'm around. You're walking on hollow ground. I think you sound so dumb.
Well, the Whitewash Sessions is very happy to welcome Gordo Jibang to the studio for a fantastic session. Welcome, Elsa and David.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So, Gordo Jibang started. When did it start, and how did it form?
I guess it was 2015. It was the very end of 2015.
So about almost 2 years ago, maybe it's safe to say like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. We started probably about 3 weeks before our first show. Well, we booked a show so that we could start a band. So that would light a fire under our asses.
That's interesting.
And then we had to write a bunch of songs because we already had a show booked. So
really?
Yeah.
Really?
So how did you know? So before you played together, you knew that you were going to book a show and be a band, or how?
Well, we had both found out that we were musicians, and we had both recently moved back to Sioux Falls. So David asked me if I wanted to jam. And I had actually just had a conversation with myself that day about how I need to stop saying no to the unknown. And I needed to take more chances and open myself up more, especially since I had just moved back. And so David asked me if I wanted to jam. And honestly, my initial reaction was like, I don't know. I don't know who you are. But I had just had that conversation. So I was like, yes, I do want to jam. And then when we got together, it wasn't that night, but a couple nights later, we wrote the start of a song together, and it was formed within a week, and it was really easy to write together. And then we had recorded a demo. David set up a mock recording studio in his living room and recorded a demo of that one song. And then somebody asked us if we wanted to play a show just from hearing our
one song,
our one demo. So we said sure.
And then
Now
you
we
had
got
to
to
write
write some songs.
Now we got to write 6 more songs.
So, did you just meet? I mean, did someone introduce you, or how did that happen?
No, she came into where I was working at the time, in Behasket. I was serving her coffee.
I just drank a crap ton of coffee. He just kept coming over because my cup would be empty. I think I drank 10 cups of coffee that day. And every time he would come over, we would intermittently have like a conversation that would like be paused because he would go off to do something else and come back. And so we would just continually talk.
But then one of my coworkers said that she was a musician, really good musician. I think it was Becky. And I was like, oh, cool. Maybe I should like try to get a jam session going. But she dipped out, and I was like, oh, well, so much for that. And I went to a show at Total Drag. I think it was that night, and she was there, and I was like, hey, do you want to jam sometime? And she said yes.
Right.
Yeah. That's how we pretty much met.
That is how we met.
Well, talk about musician. I mean, I want to talk about the bass a little bit because in a 2-piece band, or effectively a 3-piece with your computer drummer, Kevin, as he's affectionately known as, there's so much space, particularly for the bass. And Elsa, the way you were playing it, there's a lot of, you were going up the neck and almost playing some leads on the bass. How does that come about?
I don't know, other than I had never played the bass before. I had never played until I started playing with David. That is actually my dad's bass guitar. He played it when he was in college in a rock band called The Uninvited.
Nice.
And so I was trying to record some of my own songs. So he lent me his bass guitar so I could try to play. And so I tried to play it for the first time and brought it over to jam with David eventually. And so I think some of the things that I do on the bass, they come from not knowing exactly how to play the bass, but knowing how to maybe play some lead parts on a guitar. So therefore, some of the bass parts actually sound like lead guitar parts, but they're played on a bass guitar.
Well, that's really cool because the bass doesn't have to be just that droning instrument that it is. It can really be interesting, which both of you, I mean, you kind of switched off a few times, and I just love hearing interesting bass in songs. You played bass on a couple of those too.
Yeah, a couple of them.
So, your album says all songs written, recorded, and mixed by David Houck and Elsa Ray.
That is true.
Tell me about that.
That was a fun process.
That was a fun process.
Especially for my roommate, I'm sure.
David recorded with like a very makeshift MacGyver setup. He recorded every single track to every song in his living room and recorded everything there. He mixed it there. He's like a mastermind at recording and mixing. Yeah, it's so good. It turned out so well.
It sounds great.
Thank you.
So had you done recording before?
Yeah, some mainly with my brothers. We've been in a few bands together. So we've always just recorded ourselves.
Yeah.
Pretty much through everything. So
recording yourself, is that, there's a lot of convenience there because you can just kind of, I feel like playing this part and go over and do it.
For sure.
Rather than just kind of going into the studio. So
right.
Is that good or bad or both?
It's probably both because you do have the freedom to, say, you know what, I'm just going to lay that part down tomorrow.
But then you can also put it off until the day before the record is due.
Yeah.
You're like, crap, I got to re-record these 5 parts and then mix it down and then send it off.
Exactly. But it is nice to be comfortable in the setting.
That was really
super
nice.
Comfortable and
yeah.
Not have to worry about, how much money, how much time you're spending and money you're spending. So.
And if the engineer's sitting back there making funny faces, and you're thinking, oh, that he doesn't like what I'm doing,
right.
Or she doesn't like what
I'm doing. There can be a certain pressure maybe in a studio setting. I think it's mainly like the time and money aspect that you were talking about, where it does feel like you need to like produce something and it has to be perfect because you can't pay an extra $20 to $50 to redo that one track. But yeah, when you're doing it on your own, you can make yourself a cup of tea or take a break and go sit on the porch, come back to it.
And
I get lost in your way, like the sun to the moon. And I get lost in your way, like the sun to the moon, like the sun to the moon. Faith falling on iron. Faith falling on iron. And I get lost in your way, like the sun to the moon. And I get lost in your way, like the sun to the moon, like the sun to the moon. Faith falling on ice. Faith falling on ice.
If you'd like to know more about the artists we feature, visit thewhitewallsessions.com. The White Wall Sessions Radio is recorded and produced at Last Stop Studios in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Last Stop Studios is located in the lower level of the Last Stop CD shop at 2121 East 10th Street in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Executive producers are Jeff Zuger and Doug Taylor. Head of broadcast engineering is Dave Palmer. Audio technicians are Chad Conrad, Carl Koiser, and Dave Palmer. Audio mixing is Chad Conrad. Associate producer is Michael Yeager. Scheduling and sales is Tom Eisner. I'm your host, Dan Schaefer. Join us again next week for another edition of the White Wall Sessions Radio.